original game. Trying to build an original game for anybody who's come to any of our seminars in the past, it's the most dangerous thing in the world. Because if, when we present you that original game, you don't get the joke, we've just spent a year or two of our lives wasting it. And so Jack said, no, that's really what I want to do. I really want to do an original theme. And I thought that was amazing that somebody was willing to take that risk and to put that much trust in what I could think up and design for them. So I said yes. And then Jack told me something interesting. Jack said that, he told me why he founded the company. He said, and I'm going to read this because I've got it written down here on a piece of paper. He said, I have discerning customers who want full-featured pinball machines. They don't want the same old games rewarmed every time out. And I said, do you really mean I can put a lot of stuff in this game? And he said, have at it. And what you're going to see tonight is, wow, did we cook the game. I'm going to grab the microphone down here for a second, but I want you to know something. Right now we're going to talk about details. And at Jersey Jack, details matter. Being full-featured matters a lot. We're back. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you our new platform. We've just spent the last 9 months redoing the platform that the game goes in. And you're saying to yourself, why does the platform matter? Well, the platform matters a lot because that's the base that we build everything in from then on. And while the first 2 games were a great platform, there's nothing wrong with them. The people who've got those games, you know, they work the way they're supposed to. But we're always trying to do things a little better. And so what we did was we went back and we somewhat thought about the design of the cabinet. Now, what we've got over here is this beautiful black cabinet. And you're saying to yourself, that's pretty boring. I hope that's not something that's going to be the game. But I'm going to point out some of the things in this cabinet that we've done that make a difference for what we do. The first thing is, look, there's no boards. There's nothing in there. That means that we can go back to building games with mechanisms that are as deep as we need to get them. And that's a pretty cool thing. The next thing that's obvious about this cabinet, or inobvious about this cabinet, is we've turned it up to an industry standard, which means that you don't have to raise the levelers to get it to 6.5 degrees. If you take it out of the box and have the levelers all the way in, the game is sitting at 6.5 degrees. And by the way, the bubble level that I invented on pinball machines in 1991 is back on the game. And I just say, that's not very exciting. You just put it back the way it used to be. But there's some other things we did to the cabinet which are pretty cool. The first thing is, we've taken and we put the earphone jack and the volume control down on the front piece of the cabinet. And what does that do? Well, it does a couple of things. First of all, for the operators, it means we now have an industry standard door that you can swap on and off and not have to worry about the headphone jack being on the door. But we've done something else very, very cool with what we've done and moved it there. The software guys decided that since we moved that, we may as well do something more fun with it. If you're a homeowner and you want to play at home, what's the thing you hate to do most with your game? You hate to open up the front door and change the volume. It's a pain in the neck. You've got to figure out where the keys are because your kid just ran off with them. And then you can't change the volume and you can't play at 12 o'clock midnight because the family's sleeping. So, completely owner selectable in the software diagnostics, you can go in And if you're an operator, it operates just like it used to. The volume is on the door, no problem. But if you're a homeowner, you can turn on that switch and you can change the volume without opening the coin door. Speaking of volume, we completely redid the sound system in the game. And we went through and we've got what we call a more matched setup going on here now. We boosted the size of the mid-range speakers in the game from what's in the games that were previous to this game. And we matched the woofer in the cabinet to match the sonic ability of the rest of the system. So now what happens is we have a more balanced setup that gives you a much bigger frequency range coming out of the pinball machine. And in order to do that with the cabinet we have, the two mid-range speakers, which are now located here and here, okay, are reflex speakers. They're pointing up in the cabinet and they come out at you through those grills. And the other neat thing we did with our sound system is, if you want to service any of the components of the sound system, instead of having to work with 20 screws, there are 2 security screws up in the front here. When you take the panel off, you can work on the speakers or do whatever you want to do with them. Now comes my favorite part of what we did with the cabinet. This is neat. Let's pull the glass out. And we're going to take the glass out. And look, there's the boards, right where they belong on a pinball machine. And it's great. You can get in and do that, but you're saying to yourself, there's that stupid monitor in the way. I can't possibly work on all those components that are in this game with that there. So, you can simply move the monitor out of the way. It opens on either side of the cabinet, and you can work on what you need to work on. Like that. You can work on it while the play field is raised. There's plenty of room. If you're in a pin line, it swings to either side. Okay? And away you go, which means you can be running all your diagnostics here. Okay? Do what you want to do, and when you're done, all you have to do is fold it back into the game, put the clips down, and you're done. Details matter. Let me catch up just a second on my notes here. All right. Now we're getting to the part of the program that you all came for. Because you didn't all come here to see an empty cabinet, I know that. We noticed because we got beat over the head with it, that some of you like games that are based on comic books. We brought you each a comic book. Everybody's going to get a comic book. They're all coming to hand out the comic book that this game is based on. And it's our original comic book. So if you just hang on a minute, all of our happy minions here are going to run around. They're going to get you your free comic book to take home tonight. And this is what the game is based on. As Jack already told you, my mom always told me, it's more fun to make your own toys. Well, it's more fun to make your own comic book, too.